Because the only worry you'd say for Brighton is they've got to score when they're on top, and against the likes of City is when you have your good periods, you've got to get one to give yourself something to hang on to, because City normally keep their composure and end up cutting you open and getting more chances.
Here's Gabriel Jesus on the edge, 1-2 with De Bruyne. Fans there and players wanting a foul from a push on from Stevens, not given. He's found a pass to the right hand side and Anthony Knockart being held up. Stevens in support, here he is now. Not getting those 50-50 calls right now, Man City, and the players are certainly getting annoyed by it. Just wonder if VAR does have a role to play in that. Because if the error is clear and obvious, of course they will come back and ask the ref to look at the decision again, so maybe they give less decisions. Ball is out right now to Montoya, outside of him Knockart. Midway inside City territory, winds up across, it's towards the back post. Overhit that time from the Frenchman, looking for Murray again.
Yeah, disappointing from Knockart, he's been excellent in this game. He chops it onto his left foot, just overhits the cross as Glenn Murray is lurking around that area that he loves. But really, whatever Chris has said at half-time, he's certainly got his players up for the second half, even so, more so now that Pep's had to respond, and it looks like Fernandinho's going to come on for Man City.
Yeah, one of the big game players for City. They were hoping to keep fresh for Tottenham Hotspur in midweek. Going to need to be brought on here.
I think that is, the Brighton 3 at the minute are dominating the Man City 3.
He's Gundogan on the ball. He's right to Danilo. Raheem Sterling hasn't seen too much of the ball in attacking areas today. Is on it now. Back in field to Danilo. Fullbacks have come narrow, trying to help out those midfielders. Here's Mendy, good challenge on him by Stevens. He finds Knockart trying to make some space for himself, and he's done brilliantly to find Jahan Baksh on this left-hand side. Jahan Baksh approaching the area. What's he trying to do? He had Murray in the area, Knockart right. I think he's trying to drag back turn on the edge. It hasn't worked out.
Well, he had Bernardo, who ran 80 yards to get the overlap. He just needed to wait for him and slip him in. And Bernardo had a cross, an easy cross, and Glenn Murray was lurking.
At the other end, City now with a shot from Raheem Sterling. It's either been saved or hit the post. It's come away on that far side. Ryan may have got a touch on it. Here they come again, City. David Silva, Bernardo Silva gets the shot, that is blocked. It's away from the head of Stevens. Breaks to Danilo, right hand side. Into Kevin De Bruyne, left to Gundogan. Then Gundogan again will find a ball out left. Bit of space for Bernardo Silva. Running now at Knockart. Overlapping run by Mendy being made. Chip cross away by Dunk. Control in the penalty area by Proper. And they'll go up to Glenn Murray, who is then fouled by Laporte, and we'll get a replay of that shot by Sterling. Was it the post? Was it a save?
I think it was a save, but that all happened from Hackenbach. Absolutely ridiculous decision. Should have played it to his fullback. Just seeing thinking across, and I think it is a save. It's a fine save.
Yeah.
Fine save from Ryan. But that all stems from Hackenbach. Instead of just playing the simple pass down the outside to Bernardo, he elected to cut inside and lost the chance to do it, and then all of a sudden Man City break up the other end and really could have put the game beyond them. And if I was somebody in that Brighton team, I'd be having the word with Hackenbach, giving him a right rollicking.
Change for Man City. While we've been looking at those replays on our monitors, Kevin De Bruyne is the man who's gone off for Fernandinho, and for Brighton, well, it's not going to be Glenn Murray's day. The 35-year-old, he certainly worked hard. He's won the free kick, which is about to be taken. He will be replaced by Florin Andone, the Romanian striker who scored that vital winning goal against Huddersfield a couple of weeks ago, that really gave that cushion to Cardiff in that battle to avoid relegation. He's a different sort of striker, Florin Andone, very pacey, but just as combative as Murray, and he's already run into Mendy from that high ball and want to throw up the field for his team.
Well, he'll certainly pose a different threat. Like you said, his pace, he'll want to run in behind, he'll run wide, whereas Murray will want to stay through the middle and maybe get on the end of crosses, and it's something different for the Man City centre-halves to think about. But at the minute, in this really surprises me is, and tells you all you need to know, is that Fernandinho was needed. I'm sure at the start of this game he was hoping with the big games and Tottenham coming up, he would have wanted to not use Fernandinho, but he realises at the minute Brighton are on top and he needs a bit of experience out there, somebody to guide the team through and get a foothold on the game, because at the minute the game's end to end and Brighton are on top at the minute.
Here is Fernandinho on the ball in the centre circle, forward to David Silva and back to Fernandinho again.
I'm sure Pep would have said to him, just get on the ball, start popping it about, a bit of calmness.
Here he is, popping the ball out left to Bernardo Silva, volley back to Mendy. Another great ball from Benjamin Mendy again. It has been recovered though by Fernandinho. But already he's seen the ball maybe more than any Man City player in this second half. His chip out right now finds Raheem Sterling. Can't get away from Bernardo though, who looks forward now to Jahan Bach. Then Yves Bissouma running at Fernandinho. He goes down wanting a free kick, not given. I think it was a bit of hopeful appeal there by Yves Bissouma, who nutmegged Fernandinho but was never getting past him.
I think the only surprise about Fernandinho's sub was Kevin De Bruyne coming off. Maybe it's just a lack of matches, but I would have thought maybe somebody like Gundogan, but maybe he's saving him for Tuesday night.
Yeah. Of course, that game against Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the Champions League. Palace next weekend in the Premier League, and then the return Champions League game at the Etihad. Big few days on for Man City at the business end of the season. I'll tell you what, Anthony Taylor's letting a lot go here. That looked like a foul on Gundogan from Bissouma. Not given again.
I think it's added to the game, though, Tom, isn't it? He's let both teams go at it, and it's given Brighton a chance, because he realises that Brighton have got to get about City.
Well, City are a pretty niggly side themselves, aren't they, under Guardiola? Really epitomised by this man Fernandinho, who's chipped it out right to Sterling, and Sterling's up against Bernardo and he's beaten him, and he cuts the ball back in the penalty area. Well read by the Brighton skipper and local lad Lewis Dunk, who clears it away.
Yeah, Sterling going past Bernardo like he wasn't there, and Lewis Dunk got himself into a good position at the near post and diverted the danger.
Raheem Sterling out on the right hand side, running at Bernardo for the first time in this second half. Approaching 70 minutes gone here, 69 on the clock. It's Man City 1, Brighton 0 in this FA Cup semi-final. Ball is ripped in towards the back post, away by Duffy. Away though for a throw on the far side to Manchester City.
And you'd certainly be surprised if Man City would score from a set piece, certainly given the size that Brighton have got in their team.
Ball with Otamendi in the centre circle. Right to Danilo, left to Laporte, into Mendy, back to Laporte again. Finds the ball out to the far side, and Bernardo was tagged there late by Montoya. Carries on though, into David Silva, left to Benjamin Mendy in space. Low ball in, away from Duffy, breaks to Fernandinho in the centre. Then Danilo, forward to Gundogan, first time right to Raheem Sterling. And he'll find Fernandinho again. Really already coming on and bossing the play, but then Laporte totally wasting that situation with a swing of the left leg, and the ball was never going anywhere near Matt Ryan's goal. Another change here coming up for Brighton. Izquierdo is on, and Ali Reza Jahan Bach. So we've mentioned a lot today. He's certainly been involved, might not have been as good as maybe Brighton would have liked in vital situations, but has certainly had an impact on this game.
Yeah, both wingers have done well in terms of Knockaert and Hagenbach, but I think Knockaert's been the better out of the two, so for me it's the right change yet again for Chris. Fresh legs, something a bit different.
Jose Izquierdo, Colombian midfielder, capable of some real magic. Also has struggled with injury this season, as a few players at Brighton have. He is on now, and he's out on this left-hand side with Knockaert on the far at the moment, and Done through the centre. Coming forward now through Bernardo are Brighton, who have certainly been the more aggressive side in this second half with 20 minutes remaining.
I think one thing's for certain, after Man City scored early, Chris would have took this, been in the game.
Good ball down the right channel towards Andone, but he just can't chase it down. Romanian centre forward, it goes for a goal kick to City.
Yeah, like I was saying, he certainly would have taken that. You can see he's up for the game. And I think definitely he's had a word with his team at half-time and said, listen guys, come on, let's just not accept this. You know, it's a one-off game. Let's have a right good go. And I think even if they do get beat, Tom, the confidence that they will get for that, for the relegation run-in, will be immense. That they've come and give, you know, their supporters a proper go in the second half, and certainly asked them questions of Man City without really having that cutthroat, you know, chance that they're really looking for.
Yeah, probably just a point away now, a win away, Brighton from Premier League safety. They face Cardiff in a few days' time, the 16th of April on a Tuesday, which would have been this weekend, back for the FA Cup run. Lewis Dunk here adjudged to have fouled David Silva, sliding challenge. He's actually going to get yellow carded here, Lewis Dunk. I'm not too sure he thought it was even a foul.
Yeah, he's just coming in from the back. He's off and he's late. You know, unfortunately, you just can't do that nowadays. And maybe 10 years ago, Lewis Dunk, you know, you'd have got a round of applause for that.
Yellow carded by Anthony Taylor. Second of the match for Brighton, but of course Jahanbakhsh has gone off. He was the other man, cautioned earlier. Free kick right hand side, about 40-ish yards from goal. Gundogan is the man over it, maybe a little bit closer. One man wall in Izquierdo. Gundogan's delivery is towards the back post, evades everyone, both City and Brighton players.
Yeah, Brighton did well. They held a good line, didn't drop deep too early onto the goalkeeper, able to shepherd that free kick away.
Not been a great deal of goal-mouth action in this game. It's certainly been frenetic and enjoyable. It's certainly very, very competitive. Brighton just the 4 shots across the entire match, only one of those hitting the target. Of course, they did have that bouncing ball cleared off the line, which wasn't really a shot at goal. Chasing down Ederson now, ball at feet in his own area. Lovely footwork to keep it away from Andone, and he finds Fernandinho. Who does? Fernandinho carrying City all the way up the field. That's a lovely ball out right towards Sterling. Ever so slightly overhit by Fernandinho. Very ambitious ball, and it's applauded by Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, and that's where Bernardo's got to switch on, because there's good movement from Raheem Sterling. He comes short and then runs in behind, and Fernandinho plays it inside the Brighton left back. Ball just slightly overhit.
That line upfield. Oh, in fact, off the field. Poor goal kick that time by the Australian.
In golf terms, that was a duck hook there from Matthew Ryan. Got it all wrong.
Can't even afford to waste situations like that, can you, against Man City? Because they don't usually give it back, but Laporte has. Knocks it straight out of play.
Yeah, it's been a very indifferent display from Man City. You'd thought when Kevin De Bruyne produced that moment of sheer quality that they go on and put Brighton really to the sword, but a combination of Brighton being really, really resilient and Man City really, their passing hasn't been at their fluid best.
70-30 possession stats in favour of City across the piece, but a lot of that in the first half, and a lot of it not in dangerous positions. Maybe now as Raheem Sterling gets away from Bernardo, into Gundogan, back to Sterling, one by Bernardo. Gundogan evades a couple of swinging challenges there, finds a pass to Danilo, then Jesus on the edge, back to Danilo. Brighton force City away from goal. Good defensive work on that midfield three of Brighton again. Here's Benjamin Mendy in the penalty area, pokes it infield, trying to find Gundogan, nowhere near him in the end. And they look to clear it up towards Andone, but he can't make it stick. And here's Bernardo Silva, lovely bit of skill to get away from his man, into David Silva, back to Bernardo Silva, on the edge, left-hand side, trying to cross up against Montoya, finds a release in the end. It's actually straight to Andone. I think he was looking for Mendy, but Mendy was in advance of that position, and Mendy has brought down Andone as Brighton look to break.
Yeah, and I think Bernardo Silva just over-egged it really, had a great chance to put the cross in after making a lovely run in the box, didn't do it and then had to check back, and then uncharacteristically give it to Andone, who was able then to win the free kick. And like I said, just about sums up Man City's performance today.
Bernardo chips it upfield, trying to find Izquierdo. Won't find him though. That's fine, Otamendi. Only 15 minutes of normal time remaining. It is 1-0 to Man City, and the ball is at the feet of Edison, and they will then look to bring it forward through those defensive lines. Otamendi up towards the halfway, left to Laporte.
And you can see a very frustrated Pep Guardiola on the line. He wants them to play quicker. It's too easy when they play so slow to get Brighton to regroup and get in that defensive shape.
Kasutin also cutting a frustrated figure, urging his team to press. Certainly when Benjamin Mendy has got the ball, chasing him down. Not had the best night with the ball at feet. Maybe now though Mendy can make up for that as he brings them forward. It comes out left to Bernardo Silva, then Benjamin Mendy's ball in. It flicks off the back of Lewis Dunk's head and could have gone anywhere. Now for a corner to Man City.
Yeah, we were speaking about Benjamin Mendy. Delivery needed to be better. That was a superb cross, and it had Brighton in panic stations, and there was a lack of communication between Bernardo and Dunk, who, when he didn't get the shot, knew he had to head it.
Chance here for Manchester City to wrap this one up and see their way through to an FA Cup final at the end of the season, when they'll be hoping to be Premier League champions at that point. In front of the City fans, away to our right, all decked out in sky blue. Ball is delivered in, away by Bernardo, covered by Bissouma. Looks upfield, blocked by Gabriel Jesus, throwing to Brighton in the right back area. Not too sure there's another die to be rolled from Chris Hughton, maybe Jurgen Locadia. Got to try and get some bodies forward. In fact, Man City trying to get bodies back. John Stones, another defensive change here. Looks like it's being made.
Yeah, and it just shows you the way the game's gone. Pep at this stage is getting defensive types on the pitch.
Here's Raheem Sterling looking to wrap this one up. Drives it at goal. It's blocked by the sliding challenge there of Lewis Dunk. Looks like he really got hold of the effort there, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, it's good play from Jesus, who finds Sterling on the right hand side, drives in and hits a shot. And I think Ryan would have got it, but Dunk wasn't to know. Fantastic block from the Brighton captain.
Corner won't be coming in now, as we are going to get that change for Manchester City with 11 or so minutes remaining. And it's Benjamin Mendy who is going to be withdrawn for the final 11 minutes or so. John Stones on to replace him. I mean, he hasn't played a great deal of football, Benjamin Mendy, since his comeback in November.
Well, that'll be down to the fitness coach. He's in that area where hamstrings and muscle injuries, and that's why they've taken him off. He's got a good nearly 80 minutes under his belt, hasn't had much football, and I imagine that'll be Laporte will go to left back. Josh Stones will just slip into his position.
We'll go straight forward. John Stones for this corner from David Silva, whipped in towards the 6-yard box, away by Duffy, forward by Stones, right to David Silva. Lovely control with his first touch, good cross there with the second, away by Dunk, forward by Otamendi, flicked on by Bernardo Silva to anywhere in the area. It's cleared upfield by Brighton. Stones underneath it, heads it forward, but no one there. And Brighton, with 10 minutes remaining, have a throw-in midway inside their own half. Have they got the ability? Have they got the belief? Have they got the quality to get an equaliser their second half performance would have deserved? That's a good crossfield ball down the right hand side. Knockout's got the pace. Great ball by Proper. Picks it up on the end line, running it to Danilo, who's held him up. Lovely turn away from Bernardo Silva, but not away from Danilo. It will be a corner to Brighton, and Knockout tells those Brighton fans to get off their seats and get behind the team. This could be the moment.
Yeah, showing them really tricky feet, and lovely little drag back to win the corner from Danilo. And is this the moment for Brighton?
Duffy and Dunk in the penalty area. Murray has gone off. Ball is whipped in by Knockout. Duffy is there. It's away by Stones. Knockout and Sterling battling for it on that far side. Important header there by Raheem Sterling to knock it out of play for a throw-in.
Really good header from John Stones, and probably the reason why Pep's brought him on. He's put Danilo actually to left back and John Stones to right back.
Bomb forward by Bernardo from halfway. Dunk heads it backwards, but offside. Lewis Dunk, who stayed forward for that long ball, and that's not great there from the Brighton captain.
Yeah, really disappointing. Fair play to Man City. They pushed up and caught the Brighton centre half being a little bit lazy, not getting back.
A change here for Brighton, their final one. Jurgen Locadia is going to be on for the final few minutes, and you have to do it at this stage. The holding midfielder Ibisuma, who we mentioned, we think has played very well today, is withdrawn here.
Yeah,
He'll just go up top with Andone.
I would imagine so.
You were saying that there's the good showing by Bissouma today.
Yeah, he's worked hard, Tom, showed plenty of energy. I just think all Brighton in terms of have put up a show, and even if they do go out, they certainly give their manager everything, especially going behind so early. A lot of teams would have crumbled. They haven't done.
Duffy goes long out right for Knockaert. He lost the flight of the ball in the air there. Did Anthony Knockaert. Danilo will just let that ball bounce out of play. City line for the moment across the back line is a bit disorganised. Haven't quite reset from the corner a little while ago. So Danilo currently out left and Stones at right back. I'm sure that's how it initially was a few minutes ago when Stones first came on.
Yeah, I think they made the change. Danilo has played a lot at left back, and John Stones naturally right-footed. I think he's been brought in primarily to defend set plays, and Pep probably sees that as Brighton's only route.
Ball is back with Ederson away to our left-hand side as we look. Short to Otamendi, back to Ederson. Locadia and Andone chasing City down. Always a risk when you do that. Unless Otamendi gives the ball away as he has there to Bernardo, who was pressing high. And then it's in towards Locadia, who tried to spin away from Otamendi. Otamendi read it, nicked it off him, and now City can break. There are gaps to exploit. Great defensive work by Anthony Knockaert, sprinting back, getting a challenge in, finding a pass for his team as well to Proper. And it's forward to Locadia. This is good from Brighton. Down the left wing though to Izquierdo. Not a good ball. But it's back to Ederson, and it's short for him, but that's a late challenge there on Andone. Had to go for it really, Andone. He's brought down Otamendi in the area.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest pass from Ederson to Otamendi. It was bouncing, and Andone had every right to go for that with Brighton doing the high press. Just Otamendi gets there before him and gets the foul.
Well, Brighton, should they go out in the FA Cup in the semi-final here, it won't be for lack of trying, it won't be for lack of effort. They've certainly not embarrassed themselves here at Wembley Stadium. They've pushed Man City all the way. Is there a goal in this Brighton and Hove Albion team?
There is a mistake in the Man City team, because you can think that can be the only way, really. Possibly from a set piece or a misjudgment from a City defender.
Ryan goes long, Otamendi wins it well in the air, but Sterling has given a free kick away on this near side. So a couple of yards over the halfway. Knockaert's stolen a couple more, and they will send Duncan Duffy forward once again for another delivery. Anthony Knockaert giving a virtuoso performance here for Brighton. Chipped out towards the back post. Duffy is rising, he's won it. It's in the area, it's away by Gundogan. Maybe a foul on the edge there on Duffy, not given by Anthony Taylor. Three players jumping with him. It's cleared upfield, and Jesus, who apart from scoring has been utterly anonymous today, couldn't control it. Chip forward again, good win again by Otamendi, but it's a brilliant volley into Izquierdo. Izquierdo with the shot, it's on target, but it will be held by Ederson.
Yeah, and I think Izquierdo, he should have reversed this pass. He had Anthony Knockaert outside him. He lets to go on his right foot. Shot not good enough to beat Ederson, but for me, he just reverses the pass to Knockaert. He doesn't see it, and the chance is gone, and you can see the absolute frustration. Anthony Knockaert, hands in the air, remonstrating. And was that the moment? And maybe that's the difference between the two teams, that little bit of quality in the final third, whereas Man City have it in abundance, although it hasn't been on show a lot today. apart from Kevin De Bruyne's cross, the likes of Jesus, Sterling, David Silva, Bernardo Silva have been average at best for me.
Here's Raheem Sterling, midway inside Brighton territory, right-hand side, into Fernandinho, left to Danilo, space for Danilo, shot by Danilo. Well, he's certainly got hold of it, Danilo, but just a couple of yards over Ryan's crossbar.
Yeah, and he's got that in the locker, and Brighton just back off, and he hits it, the ball swerves, just doesn't get enough dip on the ball.
Not a bad effort from Danilo. They allowed him to shoot, try and get away with it. We've got 3 minutes of normal time remaining. If Brighton were to score now, you feel we would go to extra time, we would potentially go to penalties as well. That's how they got this far, beating Millwall, of course, on penalties. A late goal in that game forced the extra time as they fire one down the right channel towards Andone here. Edison comes out and clears it long. Won by Duffy, brought down by David Silva. Not been enough bringing the ball down for Man City's liking in the last 10 minutes or so. Forward to Raheem Sterling. Bit of space now with Basuma off the pitch to turn and run at Dunk. Good challenge by Lewis Dunk, stopping the advance of Raheem Sterling.
And a lot of bad decisions in midfield as well. Raheem Sterling just needed to play the ball out wide to Bernardo Silva. Elects to try and beat his man, and it gives Brighton another chance. And what they should be doing is just passing it about, just making Brighton work, because Brighton want the game to be scrappy, Tom. They want it to be high energy. Man City just got to use a bit of composure and keep the ball.
Gone along here, City, to Raheem Sterling, who has controlled it on the right-hand side after Dunk's header fortuitously fell to Dunk's England teammate. Terrible pass back to Edison there from Danilo in the centre circle. Luckily for him, no Brighton player had gambled on it. Ball is with Edison, 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Looks long here, and far too long for anybody.
You're going to surprise, and the ball goes back to Edison. You know, Brighton have got players who've just come on the pitch. Chase it down. Try and make him kick it long, which he has done now.
Well, we're getting to now or never territory for Brighton. Will there be another chance? Will there be another moment? Or was Izquierdo's effort and Duffy's header off the line be all they could muster despite a good performance in their second half? Ball is with Stevens, who's gone long towards Knockard, who's gone down in the penalty area. Nothing's been given by the referee. I'm not sure that's ever going to be a penalty. It's come off Knockard's chest last.
I think it might have actually been off his arm. Yes, it is. It would have been handball, but he's certainly been Brighton's best player today. Anthony Knockard, he's really tried hard. He's showed good quality.
But he hasn't been able to find a way through Manchester City, who have not been anywhere near their best today. But lead thanks to that 4th minute goal from Gabriel Jesus.
It's a nice quality, isn't it, when you're not at your best? And I'd say Man City probably were only really at 60% of what they're capable. And they'll certainly have to play better against Tottenham next week if they want to get a result. Too many other big players that maybe came into this game thinking it's going to be easy. Once they got the early goal, they just thought, you know what, this is going to be a routine 3 or 4-0. It just didn't happen that way. And got to give Brighton and Chris Hughton and his players a lot of respect for them really hanging in there and making this a contest.
90 minutes are now up at Wembley Stadium. Brighton have the ball in the right back area. We've just had it confirmed by the 4th official. There will be 3 minutes more. And that has seen Shane Duffy go up front now for Brighton. So it's Andone, it's Nicardia, and it's Duffy up front, being supported by Izquierdo and Knockard. Essentially, it's 5 up front for Brighton.
Yeah, and you can see Pep Guardiola going absolutely Garrity on the sideline.
Free kick for Brighton midway inside their own half, which is bombed upfield by Ryan. And that's surely a foul there. Fernandinho jumping into Duffy. Caught him right on the back of the head, and Duffy has finally been given a free kick. He's been manhandled a lot today in those situations.
Yeah, and Pep Guardiola sent on his midfield enforcer for a bit of calming influence, and that was a ridiculous decision from Fernandinho. Just needed to stand his ground.
Free kick left of centre. About 35, 38 yards out. You know they work on these, Brighton. Will one finally pay off? It's got to. Otherwise, Man City are going through to the final of the FA Cup. Knockaert's delivery up in the air by City. Dunk wins the next header in the area. Duffy turns it in, away by Laporte. Recovered on that far side by Brighton. Montoya's first touch out of his body. Second to poor cross. It's flicked into the area. Gundogan controls it, and now City will break. Really lovely ball out on this right-hand side to Jesus. Jesus to Sterling. Sterling's volley, saved by Matt Ryan. Very nearly the final flourish for Man City, but Ryan has stopped Raheem Sterling. But they've won it again. Brighton have sent everyone forward, and City around the back. It's Bernardo Silva now into Gundogan, left to David Silva. David Silva across the face. It's blocked in the area by Stevens, who had got back, and that may well be that.
Yeah, I think that could have been the chance for Man City to wrap it up. It was a scintillating attack. Jesus breaks out. Good ball from Gundogan. He chips it back into the box to Raheem Sterling, who takes it on his left foot volley. But unfortunately for Man City, it's straight down Matt Ryan's throats. The ball eventually breaks, and they're in the corner on the left-hand side, and I expect they'll just play for time and see the game out.
They're in the corner, Manchester City. They're holding the ball in the corner against Brighton in the FA Cup. Right in front of their fans. They may not have sold out their allocation, but there is still around 25,000 Man City fans who are going to be cheering this victory to the rafters. This hard-fought, hard-earned victory. And now there's a bit of pushing and shoving in that far side as City look to keep the ball in the corner and Brighton try and stop them. It's exactly what City would have wanted.
Yeah, and I think that is that, Tom. They've got through, and Pep knows they've not been at their best. Cut a frustrated figure for the last 30 minutes.
Free kick to City, which Jesus and the two Silvers will take it. Jesus by the corner flag, Knockaert with the challenge, and in the end, it doesn't matter. Brighton had their moments, Brighton had their chances, Brighton pushed all second half, but you just can't get past Manchester City this season. Another giant step towards an historic quadruple. They are now through to the FA Cup final at the end of this season, hoping to win this competition for the first time since 2011. Wonderwall echoes around Wembley. They always play an Oasis hit after City have won their games at the Etihad Stadium. Steve Lomas, they got the job done after Gabriel Jesus' 4th minute header. I wouldn't say they held on from that point, but they certainly didn't boss it from that point.
No, they didn't boss it all game, to be fair, apart from the first 10 or 15 minutes when you thought Man City were going to blow Brighton away, especially after they got the first goal so early. It didn't happen. For all credit to Brighton, I think it's partly to credit to Brighton, but also I think Man City took their foot off the gas, thinking it was just going to be a routine 3 or 4. It didn't happen, and as I say, if you don't, doesn't matter how good you are, if you don't put teams to bed, they'll always come back and get a chance, and that chance was Shane Duffy at the far post with Man City were able to scramble it clear, and after that Brighton huffed and puffed, but didn't really have the quality in open play and didn't really get the delivery right from set plays to expose City, and like you said, they probably got the job done playing at 60% of their maximum.
Brighton hoping to reach the FA Cup final for the first time since 1983, failing to do so despite bringing all those numbers down from Sussex for this one. Certainly a club that is going to be in the Premier League next year, you feel, and may well push on more under Chris Hughes. But another Another loss at Wembley for them. Not a happy hunting ground for the Seagulls.
I think another moment, apart from everything else, the moment when Kyle Walker's madness and stupidity could have cost, Man City down to 10 men, and I'm sure that Chris Hughton will say that after the game, that he should have been sent off and it might have been a different game. And you can see that Pep reacted that way by taking Kyle Walker off at half-time and putting Danilo on.
Interesting here that Man City already heading towards the tunnel, whereas Brighton, having lost this game, are staying on the field to applaud their fans, who are still here in great number and great voice as well. City didn't send out their allocation infamously, but Brighton have. Massive day out for this club, who, much like City, were down in League One just a few short years ago. Has been a brilliant day for Brighton. What a shame for those supporters. They're not going to be back here in May, and it will be either Wolverhampton Wanderers or Watford they face Man City. That's the semi-final tomorrow. It is live with our global broadcast partners, 4 o'clock UK time. Steve, a quick look ahead to that one. What a game that is going to be. Two of the best teams outside the top 6 in the Premier League. Football teams as well. You feel it'll be a very different sort of semi-final to what we've seen today?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be who turns up on the day. Like you said, two teams that like to play football and teams that have got players in that can score goals and create goals. Good pace, good power, and really looking forward to this one. This hasn't really lived up to the billing, and that's not taking anything away from Brighton. They had to do a defensive rearguard to stay in the game, and all credit to them. I thought you feared the worst after that early goal, but you'd like to think there's going to be much more of an even contest in terms of chances, possession, and chances created.
And in just 20 seconds, we're out of time here, the quadruple. Is it on?
Well, 100%. It's going to be very difficult, but they're in the box seat in the Premier League. They've got to recover a massive game, and I think that's partly why they went off early after the game, to recover for the Champions League. But yes, with this squad, 100%.
Stevie Lomas, thank you very much indeed. Former Manchester City midfielder, and it's City who are going to a Wembley final in May in the FA Cup. They've beaten Brighton by 1-0. You've been listening to the Emirates FA Cup semi-final live with TalkSport.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League